those of you who got an invite, welcome to Nerd Prom.
No matter where in the world you are, we're all Nerds International. With the hyphen.
Alright, YouTube, it's Mr. Mean coming at you. Very gloomy Sunday Beaumont afternoon. It is currently about 5:15. It's been a glorious weekend. I got a lot of stuff done. I smoked some chicken because Mr. Mean likes his chicken smoked. And who doesn't, really? I mean, a good smoked chicken is good. Shaved a beard. I think I shaved it for the last video. But it's been about a week now. I miss it, but the wife hates it. So, happy wife, happy life. Hides my double chin, you know. Oh well, I'm old. I'm allowed to have a double chin. I earned it. Anyway, today's video du jour is two things. Not one, but two. Nothing new, something old. Well, kind of new, I guess. Going to do a recap of my second session of Torg Eternity, or as I call it, Torg 2.0. We played last night from about, I'd say, 5 o'clock till about 10. So a good 5-hour game session. Had a blast. So I want to go into that. And we'll talk about my Ninja Miyamoto Shozento. And then I'm going to talk about my upcoming Edge of the Empire RPG that I'll be running next Saturday for my Saturday night group, which my GM is running Torg, but we're going to take a break. We were running The Dark Eye, and I have a scenario, but I just haven't had a chance to read it. And I really, really enjoy running stuff off the top of my head. And with Star Wars Edge of the Empire by Fantasy Flight Games, one of the great things about this system is the dice, the free-flowing mechanic of the dice really leads you. It kind of makes it really easy to impromptu storytell, which is what I like to do. I'm not a big fan of reading adventures, but I just don't have time. With a newborn baby, which I apologize, you might hear him screaming in the background. He's just playing, but he just loves to do this blood-curdling scream, which is probably my fault because I think I taught it to him. But anyway, he's a happy baby, and that's all that matters. And Mommy's taking care of him while I make this video. So hopefully it won't be too terribly long, but I didn't want to go another week without giving you guys a video. So anyway, Torg Eternity, Torg 2.0. This is still the version 1 rules. I think, first of all, that screen, that cover is phenomenal. I gotta say, I really, really dig the cover. They have a thing going on their Kickstarter right now where you can spend $25 and get one cover, or you can spend $50 and get a leather cover with the Delphi Council symbol on it. And while I really think that's cool, I think that's neat that they're offering that, I don't like the cover. I actually like that cover, and believe me, this is a book that's going to get a lot of use. When we get the final version of the PDF, I probably will print it off. I'll probably suck it up and print it off on my color printer here. Or I may just stay late at work and print it on one of our nicer printers. We have a print shop at work. I might see if the guy over the print shop can actually print it for me, because I think they can. And if they can, that'll be cool. And then I'll take it to Office Depot and get it spiral bound. And then I'll have a spiral bound copy and I'll have a plate copy. But it all depends on if I'm going to run the game. I think what I'll do is I'll leave the hardback copy here at home, and I'll bring the spiral bound copy as my play copy to the game, because my friend John is running it, and I don't like running games that other people are running that play in my group, because I don't know about you guys, but as a GM, when I run a game, I have a certain feel to the world. I have a certain image of that said world and setting and surroundings, and so when someone else runs that game and interprets it differently than I do, because they will, because no two people are alike, it just doesn't feel right. And I wouldn't want to step on John's toes, so I wouldn't run it for him. Now, I may run it at a convention or something like that where it's all new people, you know, that don't play in my games normally, and that would be fine. But I'm not quite sure I want to run Torg. I think I would be more happy playing Torg. I really am enjoying the 2.0 version of Torg as opposed to the old version. There were some inconsistencies in the old version that I just didn't like cards. Playing cards, your drama deck, it was hard to get cards in play. If you didn't do an approved action, you couldn't put a card into play. So there were times, if you were, let's say, the face of the group, you made that character that had a lot of skills but not a lot of combat, there may not be an opportunity for you to get cards in play because you're not a combat guy, and the only time you could really put cards into your hand is when you're in combat. When you're in just a regular scene, you can play cards directly from your hand as long as you're not in combat. And that's fine, and that's great for like your face type character. But when it devolves or it goes to combat rounds, then he or she is kind of screwed. And in this new system, and it's one of the rules that we overlooked and didn't realize it until yesterday, was that at the end of every round, you can play a card out of your hand. It doesn't have to be an approved action, which, God, it went so much better last night. We fought a major ghoul and I don't know how many of his minions, but we fought a ton of them, and we were able to keep our own. I mean, we took a little damage, but it was nothing that we couldn't deal with. And one of our characters she's basically a psychic from the Nile Empire, and she has a bow. We just got her a gun, and we taught her. She had some skill points, or she had some experience. So she was able, in between scenes, she was able to learn how to shoot. Basically, one of the characters in our game is a monster hunter from Orosh, and he's really good with guns. So he taught her how to shoot, and the GM let it go. So it worked out perfectly. It was thematically appropriate, and she spent her experience point, and she got one skill add in firearms. So she got a gun, and she was able to use it, and she was a little more effective in combat because her bow, while it was effective fighting zombies basically, or ghouls, unless you get a heart shot, and you kill them in one shot, they don't feel pain, they don't slow down, they don't take stress. So it was or shock. So she was pretty ineffectual in combat, and in the old system she'd have been useless. But the fact that she was able to play cards at the end of every round, whether her approved action was successful or not, really helped, and we liked it. I didn't find it in the rules. My friend John, who's GMing the game, told us all about it, and it looks like that's the way it is. Bear with me here for a second. It looks like my software froze up. It's having a hard time keeping up with me for some reason. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know what's going on in the background. It's annoying me, but it is what it is. So, we did that. We did the approved actions, and I'm a combat monster. I play a ninja. My guy is Miramoto Shozento, and he's pretty stout. This is the PDF form fillable character sheet. It does not auto-calc anything, but you just, once you make your character, you just plug everything in, and it works pretty good. I'm hoping one criticism will be that it will have more room for skills, because this one just doesn't have enough. The perks, I think, are pretty good. Once you start getting more perks, you can put them on the back or something. But there should be more skills, because I'm sitting on 10 experience points, and I'm about to bump this guy up, and I'm going to get some skills. Right now, I'm just a combat monster. But charisma 6, dexterity 12, mind 6, spirit 6, strength 10. My movement is 12, where I can run 36. My toughness is 10 without armor, 12 with armor. My dodge is 12. My melee defense is 16, and my unarmed defense is 15. I have 8 shock and 3 wounds, which is not very much, but that's because my mind and my spirit are very low. They're average. 5 to 6 is average. Anything below 4 or less is really weak. So I put all my points into strength and dex, because that's what I do. I'm a ninja. I gotta say, the game is fun. We met a monster hunter from Orosh, which was my friend Joshua. He made a new character. He had a Pan Pacifica character who went out in a blaze of glory on our first session, which was last week. And so, excuse me, his character was very similar to mine, except he wasn't a ninja. He was more of a gun fu kind of guy. But they were very similar. And so he doesn't like playing the same type characters, and I totally get it. I don't either. So he got the martyr card, and he totally used it, and the problem was we kept following him around, and he's like, go away, I'm trying to do something. He didn't want us to know that he had the martyr card and that he had played it. because he gave it to John, the GM, and we didn't see it. And so we didn't realize, what was going on. And he's trying to get away from us, and I keep following him like a puppy. So it was pretty hilarious because he kept trying to ditch me, and I kept following him, but he managed to give me the slip once he kind of pointed out what he was trying to do. And so I went off and did my own thing, and he did his thing and wound up blowing up the airship that we were on, and he went out in a blaze of glory. And so that ended that scene, and then we broke for the night, and then we picked up again last night, and we ran into a new character, which was this Orosh monster hunter with a awesome big gun, revolver that shoots holy water bullets and electrical bullets. I mean, it was crazy. But he was really cool. His character was a lot of fun. He looked like a 16th, 17th, or 18th century British gentleman. He's wearing a tweed suit and everything. It was pretty hilarious. And he was fighting ghouls, and there was a master ghoul, and so that was the adventure last night, was to track down this master ghoul and get rid of him. And between Joshua's character and mine, we were able to finally get through this guy's minions and finally drop him. And it felt really good. It was a lot of fun. The tension was high. It was just a lot of fun. The mechanics flow really well. Rolling a 10 or a 20 and getting to re-roll and add that to your total was awesome. I wind up belting out like a 56 last night. So too bad I didn't have there's a card that if you roll 60 plus, you get some cool benefits and stuff. And I got it after that roll, which was like, oh, but it was pretty cool that I did that. And fighting the as we were calling it, the brute ghoul. He had all his minions, and he wind up throwing his minions in front of us, and of course he was possibility rated, meaning he had possibility tokens that he could spend, and he was soaking damage and basically throwing his minions in the way. So, and what I would do is I was running towards him, and as I was coming towards him, I would shoot with my SMG, and then I would hack at him with my sword. And I did that like 4 times in a row, and I think the first 2 or 3 times he managed to throw minions in my way, and keep me from doing any damage to him. And then the third time, I think he spent the possibility to soak it. The fourth time, I did it 5 times. The fourth time, I shot him and shot and sword, and he went to spend a possibility, and Joshua had a card that he was able to play that basically says whatever skill test he does, he fails. And then he had a card that he could take that card back again, so it was awesome. So he made him fail his test, so he couldn't soak the damage, and then he got his card back, and then I shot him again. He went to do it. Joshua played the card again. He failed, wasn't able to soak, and I shot him and did some damage to him again, and then I think we managed to kill him that way. John's son, Danny, had a similar card as well, and he hit me and was going to do a decent amount of damage. And I'm kind of a glass cannon. My character's not very tough, but Danny had a very similar card that basically took his damage down to nothing. So John was just he was so frustrated in a good way, because the game is just fun in that way. And we had a blast. We had a lot of fun. Like I said, we played for about 4.5, 5 hours. Really looking forward to next session, but they want to play Star Wars, and so I'm going to run Star Wars. So that's going to segue into the next part of this video. So that was Torg, my thoughts on Torg Eternity. Love the cards, love the drama deck, love the Cosm cards. Everything seems to work so far. We didn't see too many issues. The disconnection rules are phenomenal. In fact, 3 of our characters disconnected last night. We rolled 1s, and I couldn't reconnect for I think 3 rounds. It was horrible. Luckily, my sword is still a sword. It's an electro katana, and I can still use it as a sword, so I was able to still do some damage, but I couldn't use the electro part for the extra AP and everything. So it was a lot of fun. The disconnection rules work really well. They're very streamlined, much better than they were in original Torg. Not that they were much different from original Torg, but they're slightly different. And the Cosm cards are really nice. Joshua had one where we refilled all of our possibilities. So we were spending possibilities because we knew we were going to get them back. with the big fight with the brute at the end of the adventure last night. And so I think we all got down to one possibility, except Joshua had two, and we all went back up to three. And so it worked out really well. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Torg Eternity, or Torg 2.0, as Mr. Mean likes to call it. I'm not quite sure. I thought they were going to allow straggler backers and stuff to the Kickstarter, but I did go. One of the guys posted. I posted a picture on my Google Plus page, or in the Torg Eternity page of us playing last night using I have a Microsoft Surface tablet, and I had I had my character sheet and everything on there, and one of the guys had posted if you were wanted to know if you could still back it, and I couldn't find anything. I didn't dig terribly deep. There doesn't appear to be anything on the Ulysses America website, but just dig around. Go to the Kickstarter page and dig through it and see what it says. It sounds like he went to it, and it sounds like it's not. But I thought, don't quote me, but I thought I read something about once they get the backer it page up and they work out shipping and everything, that was going to open it up for everybody else. So hopefully that is still the case, and you'll still be able to get some of the cool stuff that the rest of us will be getting. But it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. It plays very fast. It's really, they're only going up from here, so it's awesome. So anyway, that's a seal of approval from Mr. Mean for Torg Eternity, aka Torg 2.0. So now, jumping into the next segue, pause the video here if you need to go a potty break, and then when you come back, we're going to talk about Edge of the Empire. This has got to be one of my favorite game systems to play. Why? Because of those funky dice. And people either love them or they hate them. I haven't heard anybody go, they're okay. You either think they're awesome or you can't stand them. I haven't seen anybody that's in between. I love them because it really opens up gameplay and pushes the story forward. And if you're a GM like me that kind of impromptus your campaign, like I have a basic idea of what I want the players to accomplish or what's going to oppose them for the night, and then where it goes from there is kind of on them. And the neat part of this game system is the dice really help that. And if you've got very imaginative players, which my Saturday night group is pretty good, the nice part is you can come up with some just awesome stories. And I think that's what's going to happen. So basically, without giving away too much, because I know a couple of the players actually watching my videos, they're actually going to be scum and villainy type characters. And they're going to actually owe a Hutt a lot of money because the Hutt gave them a ship. And we all know the Hutts don't give anything for free. So they're going to have to figure out how they're going to go about all that. And Edge of the Empire is just a great system. Well, the whole Star Wars, if it's Force and Destiny, Age of Rebellion, or Edge of the Empire, the storytelling aspects of this game system are very well done. And I think Edge of the Empire is my favorite. I love Jedi. I think they're very cool. But the mechanics are a little, they don't spark me as much as Edge of the Empire. Having the Force and having the Force powers is cool, but I'm not completely sold on how they work. Your lightsaber powers pretty cut and dry. They're pretty self-explanatory. But actually using the Force powers and the way they do it, I'm not 100% sold on it. I don't see a lot of, and maybe it's because our characters aren't high enough. We're only about 200 XP total. So I'm not quite sure if we have enough ads and everything to get because I want to be able to throw my lightsaber. I want to be able to reflect blast and back at the person that shoots me and stuff. And I know that's in there. It seems like it's taking forever to get there, and that's a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing because you don't want too much experience too fast, because then you run out of stuff to look forward to. So. And our GM, Joshua, is doing a great job with the pacing of the story, and I'm enjoying it. Don't get me wrong, but I think I would like to, well, he wants to play Edge of the Empire, and I like running Edge of the Empire. So that's what we're going to do next Saturday. I've got the Hutt made up. I've got the main antagonist made up. I use Ogdude's character builder, which if you haven't seen it and you're interested in Star Wars, I highly recommend you go onto the Fantasy Flight forums, look under Edge of the Empire character builders, and you'll see Ogdude, Oggdudes, Ogdude's post about yet another character creator. It's a great little piece of software. He updates it regularly. Now, for copyright reasons, he's not allowed to put like what the mechanics are, but it'll fill out a character sheet. It'll put everything in there that you need, and it just tells you to refer to, page XX. And I fully support buying a copy of the book anyway. So it's a great resource. And kudos to Ogdude for keeping it maintained. And I really, really hope that Fantasy Flight reaches out to this dude and kicks him a bone, and maybe authorizes him to put the software up for sale, even if he only sells it for like $10 a pop, and he gives Fantasy Flight $2 or $3 or even $5 for each copy sold. I know it'll sell like hotcakes. And it's easy enough to do. Just stop doing the updates for the free version, and then it's up to him. It's his world. I'm happy with the free version, obviously, but I'd like to see the dude make some money. I'd like to see Fantasy Flight make some money off of it, because it's a great tool and it works very well. And maybe the money would free him up some more time to work on it. So that would be even cool. So that's what I'm going to run next Saturday. I don't know if it'll be a one-shot. It may be an intermittent game, because I'm really having fun with Torg, and I don't want to stop playing Torg. We play every Saturday, but the Torg game is every other Saturday. So then the down Saturday is an open game. And one of the things I wanted to do with my gaming group on the Saturday group is I wanted to play different games, because there's a plethora of games out there, and I have a bunch of them, as you guys have seen. I've got almost 100 videos up now, and a good chunk of that is all different RPGs. So I'd like to play those games that I've invested a lot of money in, and be able to play them. And but I keep coming back to Edge of the Empire, because it is a great game. It plays really well. Character creation is pretty easy, especially if you use Ogdude software. It's 10 times easier. I belted out 5 characters last night in under an hour. And even then, that was putting some effort and thought into them, because it's gonna probably be a one shot. We may play it longer, but John and his son and his wife don't have access to Ogdude's character builder, so I did it for them. I just got a base idea of what kind of characters they wanted, and then we went from there. So the characters are all made, and we'll go from there. So we're definitely looking forward to it. I'm really enjoying my gaming time. My wife has been fantastic. I have a Wednesday night game, and then I have a Saturday game. The Saturday game could be either in the day or at night, and my wife takes care of her son. I do a lot with him during the week. Of course, I take him to and from daycare. My wife and I carpool, because we actually work at the same company. But I try to help her as much as I can. She gets up in the middle of the night with him to feed him, because I'm grumpy if I don't get enough sleep, and we all know that. And so and the crib is on her side of the bed. It doesn't make any sense for me to get up and go all the way around. And we have a decent sized bedroom, and we have a large bed, so it's easier for her to just get out of her side and feed him real quick, and it literally takes less than 5 minutes. He sucks a bottle down and he goes right back to sleep, and he's doing very well. And so we're very happy. We're very lucky. We are very honored, and I don't know, we're doing okay. Life is pretty good. I wish I had a better job and I made more money, but doesn't everybody? But I'm getting by. I'm struggling, but I'm getting by. Luckily, all my equipment here is paid for. I was smart enough to put it on a credit card and then pay that credit card off. So I'm not sitting in a whole bunch of debt, but I do have some debt, don't we all? But I've cut way back on my gaming expenditures, because money's always tight. So that will segue into the if you're a small press company and you have role-playing products or whatever that you want to advertise for free, send me a copy. I'll be more than happy to review it. I reviewed Ambrosia. It was a great game. I posted that review. If you haven't checked it out, go back and check it out. It's a very cool game. I'm not sure what he's done with it. I believe he's released it on Drive-Thru RPG for free, or pay what you want. But it's a very cool setting. It's a very different twist on the fantasy genre, and it's very well done. Also did a review of Sky Wars, which is basically a fantasy riff on Edge of the Empire. So using the same dice mechanics, they produced a beautiful book, and I'm hoping, I guess they got, if I understand correctly, they got permission from Fantasy Flight Games, and they just put out version 1.2, and it looks amazing. Go do yourself a favor, go check it out. It's from Red Shirt Diaries, I believe is the name of the website. But if you just do a Sky Wars Google search, you'll find it. And I also did a review on it a couple days back, so go check it out there. So anyway, that's going to be it for Mr. Mean. As always, peace and hair grease, and remember, be nice.